What is up with my hair? Hi, it's Katie with Be Your Own Champion, and today's video is about ghosting. Super popular topic right now, but my angle is a little different. I have been reading a lot of articles about how terrible ghosting is and how rude it is when people just cut off a relationship and disappear without any explanation. I definitely do think that's rude, and it's unfortunate when the person can't talk it out with their partner before just disappearing. Also, another factor that matters is how long the relationship is. If you've only gone on like one date with the person, it's probably less of an impact than if you're with the person for, say, 3 years or something. I am here to talk about when ghosting is a good thing. There are many situations in which ghosting could be good. It just kind of bothers me that I haven't seen a lot of this side of it in the articles I've been reading, so that's why I'm making this video. So here are some good reasons to ghost. When you do not feel safe, when the other person has been threatening you, when the other person is severely mentally unstable and you cannot predict their behavior, when you're unable to have a rational or reasonable conversation with the other person, when you're concerned about the other person not respecting your boundaries. Obviously, if the other person is abusive toward you, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever, that is a super good reason. And bottom line, if communicating with the other person, not just about leaving the relationship, but communicating with them in general, gives you an inordinate amount of stress and anxiety, then that's a pretty big clue. So I myself have ghosted on 2 different occasions, and I don't regret it. And let me tell you about them. In the first situation, the other person was becoming increasingly more and more unstable the further the relationship went. It got to a point where I could no longer predict their behavior, and I began to feel very uneasy and unsafe around them because of how unpredictable he was. He also made some very extreme decisions that really negatively impacted me and my kids. People that know me know I'm very protective of my kids. Especially as a single mom dating, there's just certain things that are not okay. There was also an added layer, which I won't go into because I'm trying to stay vague here. There was an added layer where I actually didn't feel safe physically because of another issue that was related to him. So I cut him off and I blocked him on everything, and I don't feel bad about it. I felt like it was necessary, and I feel like that was the right decision to make, especially as a mom with 2 young kids at the time. The second situation is a situation where I was dating a guy, and it went really well at first. I was actually completely blown away by how nice he was, how caring and thoughtful, and I was kind of swept off my feet. And then he stopped being so nice, and things got really weird, and he began being kind of passive-aggressive toward me, and I couldn't really figure out why. It started to get into my head, and there was nothing that I had done that I could think of that would have caused this behavior. I was sort of feeling controlled too, and I didn't like that aspect of it. I knew that if I confronted him, it would turn into a bad conversation where he would say nasty things to me and make me feel bad, and I didn't want to put myself in that scenario. And I definitely didn't feel like I deserved that treatment, especially because the relationship was so young. We hadn't even been dating for that long. So one day, to protect myself, when he was gone, I got into his house, retrieved the very few items that I had left there, and I disappeared and I blocked him on everything. And it may sound kind of cruel, but it had reached a point where I could not rely on him to be rational and have a rational discussion about what was happening and why I was uncomfortable. So I just completely pulled out, and I feel like that was the best thing for me to do at that time because I was really uncomfortable with the direction it was going. There are a few others where I disappeared and blocked, people and everything. Makes it sound like I'm constantly doing that, but I really am not, I promise. But I don't count those as ghosting because I actually took a lot of time to explain to the other person in the clearest way possible why I was leaving, and so there was no doubt in their mind. So I don't count those as ghosting because I communicated before I disappeared. If you can relate to any of those items that I mentioned earlier in this video, I think it's totally okay to ghost because you need to take care of you and do whatever you need to protect you and maintain a healthy, happy world that you're living in. And if there are things encroaching on your boundaries and causing you pain and making your life a living hell, they don't need to be there, and you do not owe them an explanation, because most of the time when the other person is behaving badly like this, they know why you left. So your job is to take care of you and love yourself and let people into your life who also love you and are taking care of you well. Clearly, I feel very strongly about this topic. Anyway, let me know what you think, and if you've had similar experiences. I just kind of want to give people permission that if they are feeling unsafe or super uncomfortable or you know, like, I mean, the longer that you're in a relationship also, the more likely that it makes sense to exit with an explanation and have some closure in that manner. But I think all these things are good food for thought. Bottom line is you gotta take care of yourself. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any comments about it. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, I always say, come look at our Facebook group. You guys are awesome. Talk to you soon. Bye.